Today we are going to talk about EDlumina and our one-click reporting, and it's so great because you can have all your reports right there for you at the click of a button. So Anna, I will go ahead and let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. So what we want to go through today, as Sam said, is some of our reports that exist in EDlumina. And as Sam alluded to, these are our one-click reports that as long as you're doing your day-to-day job, these things are going to auto-populate for you, which is fantastic. So we'll go over our overview and lead trends reports, which are kind of like our dashboards. Then we'll touch on our enrollment reporting, going over productivity, events, demographics, high school reporting, and then lastly, our efficacy and actions reports. So these are all great reports that you should be utilizing every day anyways for your admissions team. If you're not doing something like this, then we encourage you to reach out to us to get another demonstration of the entire system so that you can really understand how to best support your team and to boost enrollments. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our overview. And so here you'll see this is what that dashboard looks like anytime you want to click into a report. You'll have your overview, your lead trends, and those others that I've detailed here as well. And I'll show this all to you in the live site in just a little bit too. So the next report here is our overview report. This one, I hope everybody can see it well because it has such great data and information that populates for you. So this overview, depending on if you have more than one campus, is going to give you a high level of everything happening at your entire instance, so your entire school. Then it will also break things down for you by campus, and I'll show you in the next slide. It'll break it down for you by program as well. And so what this is showing for you are your conversion rates. So this is going to give you how many leads came in during a time frame. How many of those leads actually contacted us back? So I'll show you this in just a moment. There's a field in the system that will say, what was the date and time that they contacted you? Meaning, did they answer a phone call or did they text back? That's going to populate this data here. Likewise, you'll move on from that contacted through to scheduling an appointment with them, making sure that they're going to come in for their tour or do a virtual tour. Then you'll have, did you complete that event? And all the way down through being able to track your enrollments and your starts. You know, the great thing about this is that you don't have to use all of this data in order to still get something out of this report. You could simply want to track how many leads did I have come in and how many have I enrolled over this time frame. Or you may want to use just enrolls to starts. I'll show you how that populates in just a second, but I did want to point that out. So next you can see here again, this is from that campus dashboard. So if you have more than one location, you'll be able to capture this from that campus view. And then digging down even further, you can do this from the program level. So being able to capture it for a cause program, SDLG or nursing, or a trucking program, you'll be able to capture all of this information. The system was really designed specifically for the school industry as well. So we know these are the types of data points that you guys are generally trying to track, and you'll see some more evidence of that in the reports that we show in just a little bit. So the next report, before I jump into the live site to kind of show you how this data populates, is to show you this lead trends. And so this is a beautiful report where you have what your goals are in a quarter. So this is going to give you kind of a more macro view of what you're trying to do for your institution. This will be, again, for a quarter level. So for all of 2021, you'll start to track quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 all the way down. So the blue will be your goals. The purple is your enrollments. Then the orange are your starts, and the green are your no starts. So for any stakeholders, this is going to be a pretty vital report that you're going to want to use. They want to know what was our goal and are we hitting them? And so this report kind of puts that information all in one place for you. And it's great because you'll have a table or you'll have a chart view, but then you can also toggle into a table view, which I've shown here. So you can see for quarter 1, we had our goal of 66. We've enrolled 113, which is fantastic, well above our goal. And then you'll know up to date, how many starts do I have? So I've got 40 starts and then 14 no starts. Now the quarter's not finished yet, so I'll still be enrolling and starting more students through the rest of the quarter. And then once, March 31 hits, you'll start to track those things for quarter 2. Just like with the overview report, you'll be able to track this information at the program level and campus level as well. So that was kind of the overview for your entire instance. And then you can start to track it down by campus and then those campus programs there too. So again, a great way to really know on a macro level what's going on, and then to be able to get more granular and say, why are we not hitting these goals? Is it just this particular program? Maybe we need to boost some of our marketing for that program. Or maybe we need to adjust our goals because quarter over quarter, we're setting something too high that's not attainable. So being able to have this data there is going to be really crucial for you going forward. So let's jump into the live site to just kind of show you how some of this information populates. So what you're looking at here is a lead profile within the system. This is home base where all of the data respective to a particular prospect is going to live. So here you can see I have my initial contact made. On that overview report, this is what populates my lead into contact, meaning this is the day that they called us back, or this is the day that they texted us back. You'll be able to track that there. Then you'll have some other contact information, demographics. We'll touch on this in just a little bit for, their citizenship or marital status. I'll pull that up for you. And then the last thing to show is your enrollment. So this is where you had your goals, and that will be listed in your programs, which I'll show you in just a moment. And then it's simple to enroll somebody by clicking a button. I've now enrolled them into the system. You can see that now I have the options to either unenroll, maybe it was an accident, to start and then no start. And so those are the buttons that pull up this report for you so easily. So again, as long as you're doing your job day to day with individual leads, all of this information populates for you. Now, as far as the overview report goes for the lead trends, I do want to show your programs. And so this is great because you don't need to rely on a developer or some other person. We know there's a lot of other softwares out there that you have to get developers involved to add a new program, to add cohort start dates. That is not the case with EDlumina. So if we click into one of these programs, this is where you'll be able to enter in your cohorts. You can say what your start dates are and then maybe what your goal is. So the system will automatically calculate all of your goals for a particular cohort start date and then populate that into your reports. So this is where those particular goals that you're tracking are going to come up in the system, again, automatically. We really, know that admissions teams are really busy. They are trying to make phone calls, they're sending out texts and doing tours and appointment contacts. You don't have all of the time to really draft all these reports. So where we can automate this for you is really what we wanted to focus on. So the next report that I want to touch on does, again, have to do with some enrollment, but this one we saw like lead trends and overview was kind of more of a high level. This is going to give it to you based on all of your start dates. And so this will show it to you for your programs, for your campus, and then what is your enrollment goal? So right now my goal is to enroll, 8 people in total. I've enrolled 5 so far, but I don't have anybody else pending for that particular start date. So I might not hit that goal. Likewise, my goal was 10 for this particular cohort. I've already reached that. I've enrolled 10 people and I might enroll an extra one and go above my goal. So this is a great place for you as an admissions manager or even as an admissions rep to go check and see where you are in the process, kind of at a quick glance, and how close you are to meeting your goals for those, particular start dates in any given month. Now, the other nice thing about this report is that these are all hyperlinks. So if you want to get to a quick list of your enrollments and cohorts, you can do that by clicking these hyperlinks here. So this will give you those 10 people that maybe you want to send out a nurturing campaign for. You might want to send them, to let them know to make sure they have their orientation packet in place, or that they've signed all of the documentation that they need in order to actually start class on day one. So again, this report is one that we find gets used really often, especially if you're utilizing the cohort start dates in the system, like I showed within the program. All right, so I'm going to jump on down to our productivity report. Now, this one from a managerial perspective is really important and one that we know is used most often. This shows you at the high level, again, for like your entire institution, how many appointments you've set, how many interviews, no-shows, enrollments, leads in, and notes have been added. So this rolls everything up and gives it to you from a total level. Then it also breaks it down by campus, and it breaks it down by representative as well. So here you can see you have this view representative details link that you could click on. But this is a really great way that if you're not doing this, in your existing system or in your existing spreadsheets, again, this does it all for you. And it's a great way to know what the reps are doing every day. How many appointments are they setting? How many interviews are they setting? What were the no-shows, leads in, and notes? This will be your way to go back and have one-on-ones with your reps potentially, where you can talk through and say, do you have too many leads coming into the system for you? Do you need, to split those out and do more lead routing, which we can do for you automatically as well. One thing I will point out is you generally always want to see notes being entered for reps. And when you have a high number of leads coming in, you want to make sure that those notes are pretty close to the number of leads coming in, because every point of contact that a rep has made should be also added as a note somewhere, because they may not always be around. Maybe they go on vacation for a week. You need to make sure you know exactly where they've left off. And I'll show you where you can enter some of this information in just a second. So again, you have your rep here, and then you can drill down if you want to just see it from that campus perspective. All right. So I'm going to jump back to the live site in preparation for our next report and kind of showing you some of these notes and things like that for the productivity report as well. So if I click on this lead here, I'm going to navigate to my events section. So I want to point this out because this is how the data will populate for you in our next report, which is a fantastic way to get your no-show rates and to understand which, prospects are going to be the best for your institution. Okay, so I have past events here. You can see they've already rescheduled an event prior. They had follow-ups that myself as a representative followed up with this person. But then you also have your next outstanding event. So you have these options here. You can have like some determination or outcome of what has happened. So if I click no-show here, that's going to give me a red no-show, meaning they didn't come. But then it also shows did they reschedule after they no-showed? Maybe their car broke down when they were trying to make it to the appointment, or did they call and cancel and decide that they didn't want to attend? You'll be able to make those determinations, and it will update what those events are for you in the system. Again, we want to make what you do every day populate into these reports so that you can use them in a meaningful way. So if we go to this events report, now you've kind of seen what those determinations are. So you have rescheduling prior, you have canceling prior, you have your no-shows, and then reschedule and cancel after the appointment was taking place. All of this information with the total number of appointments you have are going to give you your no-show percentage rate. Now, if you have a really high percentage of no-shows, then maybe you need to be doing more outreach for people that are coming in for appointments. You need to set up some automated messaging to make sure that they're going to attend. Send them your address so that they don't miss the location. Making sure that you're nurturing those leads in order for them to show, to make sure that you're, actively working with them and letting them know that you care and want them to attend. So this no-show percentage rate based on your number of appointments is a great way to really understand what am I lacking with regard to tours or people coming into the system, and how can I get better? So that's one of the great things that we have for our different events. So there's only a couple more reports that I want to show. I know it's 1 o'clock on a Thursday. So there's 2 or 3 more reports, and then I will give you guys back the rest of your day. The next one is our demographics report. So this will populate the leads, again, based on some lead in date, and give you their program, their rep, what their current status is, and then some of this demographics data. So you'll have your gender, ethnicity, date of birth, and marital status. If you're Title IV and you do IPEDS reporting, or you have some states that you have to submit this data to, the system is going to give it to you. As long as you're putting things into the system, you will get it out and be able to use it. So this report, as with all of our reports, are exportable to a CSV or an Excel spreadsheet so that you can then go utilize that somewhere else. We don't want you to be spending your time doing data entry for, something that the system can do for you. And so where you capture this information is on the leads profile. And I'll go ahead and edit this particular one just so you can kind of see the fields. This is your contact info. And then you have your high school attended, which is another report I'll show you. You'll have their citizenship, their race, ethnicity, highest degree earned, and then if they have a military or VA background for various fundings, you'll be able to capture all of that and get it out of the system in exportable reports as well. Okay, two more reports that you should be tracking, and then I will let you guys go. So we do have this high school report. And if you're not currently tracking this and you are, post-secondary school that primarily serves people coming out of high school or that have just got their GED, this would be a great report for you to start tracking, in that you can see, where am I getting the best prospects? Where are these people coming from? Are they going to be good referrals for me? Maybe, if you have 4 or 5 different leads from the same high school and they seem really interested, you might want to set up and go do a career fair there, or send out different emails to their parents, letting them know that they might be a great fit to come into your school because other students from the school have been very successful there. So again, if you're not tracking high school, this would definitely be something that you could utilize, because we know referrals are one of the best ways to get good students into your schools. And so this might be a really great place to start. Okay, our last report. And I chose this one to be last in the system because I wanted to juxtapose it with the very first report that I showed you, which was our overview. So the overview report is giving you information and conversions based on getting the leads in, and then maybe putting in that initial contact date that we touched on, setting appointments. So it's doing things in the system that you're going to do every day, but it's not necessarily related to what your internal workflow is going to be. And so that's what this report here is. It's based on what your own customized workflow is. So this particular client has a new lead, contact attempting, appointment set, interviewed, enrolled, start, no start, and then finally a management review if necessary. So this is their own workflow that they have created, and we and our implementation specialists will be able to help you understand what your best workflow might be based on your business processes. But this one's probably pretty standard. You could utilize this in defining what that workflow is, if you haven't already, is really a great way to start to separate who needs to be doing what, making sure you're organized, that you're getting all of the documentation you need in order to enroll them. And so that's what this particular report can show you. It's those conversion rates. Where are people dropping off? You have 100 leads come in, or 101 leads come in. Your attempted contact should probably be up to 101 rather than at 94, because you should be contacting every single person that comes into the system. And so just to give you this visual of where that is in EDlumina is based on their full progress bar. So a rep is going to log into the system and they're going to move them from one step to the next as part of their day-to-day task. And that's what's going to populate this report for you. And so you can see here from like a leads perspective, that's where all of this information will pull and will populate. So this is a little bit more complicated of a workflow. It could be very simple, from contact attempted to appointment set to enrolled and started, depending on what your needs are. Okay, I know that was a lot. So I hope that you'll reach out to myself and Sam for some good questions to talk through so that we can, understand what your business needs and hopefully help. So Sam, I will hand it back to you.
Thank you, Anna. That was a great explanation of our one-click reporting in EDlumina and how simple it is. If you missed the last webinar, it was an overview of EDlumina and what you can do from an admissions perspective. Please visit our LinkedIn page, Siena Education Services, to view that. Also, any other questions? This was a lot on reporting. If you have any other questions, please complete the survey after the webinar and ask those there, and I will get those answered for you. If also for more information on anything else, you can visit edlumina.com. And again, thank you so much for spending your afternoon or morning, depending on where you are, with us. And we look forward to working with you and your team.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.